I want everybody to understand before we even get started with this story, I will try to specify the things that are speculation and the things that are real. Okay. There's some speculation as to why these men caused this situation to happen. But then there are also some facts, even the things like who was potentially involved, who was on the scene, things like that. So I'll try to specify the difference. But before we get into the details, let me give you a disclaimer and then we'll go from there.
Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, new website articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer.
So the source we're using here is The Guardian, and I might have to use a backup source, but we'll get there if the names become relevant because I might have to bring that back up. So there was an initial suspect, but now there is a second suspect in the stray bullet killing of a 7-month-old baby girl. And I believe this was in the Bronx on a Brooklyn street. And when he was arrested on Friday, investigators said 2 days after a shooting, after a shooting, the New York Police Department and NYPD commissioner called a tragedy that truly shocks the conscience. So Matthew Rodriguez, who was 18 years old, I don't know if that was the man that we saw. Let me see if I can get back there. It's one of these two fools. I don't know. So fool number one, we're going to call him fool number one and fool number two. Y'all figure out who's who, okay? It's like a damn zoo. People are idiots. Matthew Rodriguez, 18 years old, was apprehended in Pennsylvania by NYPD detectives working with U.S. Marshals, according to authorities. So I don't know if he tried to run or what. The suspected shooter, 21-year-old Amuri, Amuri Green, and now I don't know if that sounds like a black name, potentially, I guess, was arrested shortly after the drive-by gunfire that killed the little girl. And let me show you guys her picture. And I want you guys to look at this angel. Such an angelic face. And I get mad. I get really upset with these stories because we keep hoping for change in our world. We want better people. We want those who could grow up and become something great to have that opportunity. And we keep having situations like this where you don't even give these babies a chance behind the jealousy, the bullshit, behind relationships, behind drugs, behind whatever selfish things that we have going on, that these idiots decided to try to take someone's life. And here's my opinion. They missed the intended target, right? You said Folios, I agree. Fool number one and fool number two, Folios. Not to be confused with the rapper, because rappers got a whole bunch of BS going on right about now. All right? The intended target, I believe, was the biological father of this girl. And if I don't have the video of the actual incident, I'll go and pull it so you guys can see it. So I want you to see how quickly it happens. So I think what it was they saw him. They drove by. I guess maybe they already did a circle around and saw him, and then they spin the block. How they like to say it, came back to try to assassinate their target. Missed, like most of these idiots do. Like, I mean, look, if y'all never been to the gun range, maybe you need to go and find out how hard it actually is to control a weapon. It's extremely difficult. So it takes some practice. It takes some just takes a good eye and some accuracy. And that's to hit a target that is not moving in a welded condition and usually not that far away. You got headphones on and goggles and all type of stuff in order to put rounds on a target in a gun range. These fools were driving on a moped at a pretty high rate of speed. And you mean to tell me, knowing that most people don't go to the gun range, that he thought that he was going to hit his target like this was New Jack City or something? Y'all remember that scene on New Jack City where they were riding the The ninja bike was crazy. I think that was a ninja bike. And dude was on the back of the bike with his ski mask on, and he had two guns, and he shot up the mafia. Y'all remember that? He didn't miss not a shot. Hit everybody. Everybody out there that was out there drinking tea and coffee or whatever they was drinking, they died. Y'all remember that movie? If you don't, watch it after this video. It's like these fools try to live like these songs in these movies. He shot, he missed. And it took this baby girl's life. And she's such a beautiful little angel. But we'll get back into that, and we'll get back into the foolery of what I believe that might have caused this to begin with. So, again, the other shooter, 21-year-old Amuri, Amuri. I don't know if that's a black person or not. Matthew Rodriguez. I think that's him. I guess with a full beard. I don't know. It's just kind of hard to tell. It's kind of hard to tell who's who and if these are black folks, if this is gang related. The police, I think, initially thought that this might be gang related, which that's a whole other thing. We'll get into that here in a second. The other suspected shooter was arrested shortly after the drive-by gunfire that killed Kaori Patterson Moore. That's her. Green pleaded not guilty to murder and other charges at an arraignment on Friday night. Kaori was in her stroller when two men sped down a street on a moped on Wednesday afternoon. Green, riding on the back of the vehicle, which I guess that would be the shooter. Yeah, New Jack City. Yeah, that's the movie. So there was two shooting scenes. The wedding, they pulled up in vans. That was different. I'm talking about on the motorcycle. The motorcycle scene, that's later in the movie. So Kaori was in her stroller when two men sped down the street on a moped on Wednesday afternoon. Green was riding on the back of the vehicle and fired into a group of people on a street corner, according to the court complaint. And it looks like he might have shot one time. He was going so fast, he really only had time to shoot once. Kaori's mother, by the name of Liana Charles Moore, told the news that after hearing what she initially believed to be fireworks, she was comforting her startled 2-year-old son, who had been grazed by a bullet, when she looked to the left and saw her baby daughter bleeding. The infant had been shot in the head, and she just did not stand a chance. Research by gun control advocacy group Everytown for gun safety has established that firearms are the leading cause of death for children and teens in the U.S. Nonetheless, Congress over years has been unable and unwilling to implement more substantial gun control in the United States. How about we pause right there before I go further? As an example, since we're going to get political, because they brought it up, don't get mad at me. Y'all please hit that thumbs up. Don't get mad at me. They brought it up. They're saying we need more gun control. Is that really what we need? Does anybody want to chime in the chat on your thoughts on that? Just type it in there. I would love to see what you guys got to say about that. Do we need more gun control? Or do we need more stable parents in the household, creating children and raising more stable humans under more normal circumstances? This harkens me back to movies like Tommy Sotomayor's Fatherless America, so shout out to him, which highlighted, and he's been trying to highlight that forever, but it highlights the detriment of having broken homes and not having fathers in the home. And I continue for the longest time. I know y'all have heard me say, even if you haven't listened to Tommy, I know you guys have heard me say that when these young men grow up and they don't have a father figure in the home, they will not value themselves. If they do not value themselves growing up and seeing an image of someone they should grow up and become, they're going to go out into society and they're not going to value anyone else. We'll get back to him here in a minute. They're not going to value anyone else. And if they don't value themselves, they're not going to value anyone else, which is why you see all of this indiscriminate shooting, and they do not care about the consequences. All they care about is trying trying to accomplish an objective, a goal, whatever that is. Their goal, in my opinion, was to try to take the father's life. Why? Is it over gangs? Okay, I mean, we could talk about the stupidity of gangs if you want, but I'm sure in 2026 we don't have to talk about how stupid that is. You're fighting allegedly over territory that you don't own. The difference between when the American Revolution and the Civil War and all of that happened, when people got shot and died, they took over land. They owned things, right? When they did that, they took over and owned things. What are we doing? We're constantly taking each other's lives, own nothing, do forever in prison, maybe life sentences in prison, and cut down our brightest opportunities to change our society and cutting down our babies. Our best chance at trying to have a better society. You won't even give them a chance. But they call it gun control. I call it thugs with guns. Because when you call it gun control, as you guys saw from that screenshot, let me bring it back up here in a minute. Even the way that you guys vote, man, you got to start thinking about how y'all vote, okay? And voting is something very, very important. Most people think that the most important voting that you can do, which California and New York is starting to find out, is you think that voting for the president matters more than voting for your governor. Oh, and how I laugh at you guys. I'm not saying Texas is perfect, but I'm just saying Texas is doing better than New York, and Texas is doing better than California. Mayor Zoran Mundummy blames gun violence rather than the criminal after a 7-month-old baby is tragically killed in New York City. That is something that somebody posted. You can see the name of the person, I guess, up there. I didn't say it, but all I'm saying is, again, this is this apologist group. This is this group that I don't think gets it. Anybody who follows that group and anybody who voted for him, I think you're going to find out in the end how wrong you were to vote in that direction. To not blame the person is ridiculous. To continue to give, as an example, people who SARAPE, kids, little babies, underage kids, teenagers, why do they get a bond when those are sexually violent crimes? If you are accused of attempting to take someone's life, why would you get a bond? Why do people who continuously put the public at risk get bonds? Those are your lawmakers. Those are your judges. Those are things that you can change. The reason why super aggravated child abuse laws exist in Texas is because Texas took a stand for the kids and said, we don't want this to keep happening. We got to have some stronger consequences and have something that makes somebody maybe think twice before they go do some dumb shit. I want you guys to understand gun laws in places like the city of Chicago, in New York, and in California, blue areas, blue states, already have extremely stringent gun laws. Am I right or am I wrong? This advocacy group says that they need more substantial gun control. So you mean to tell me that these people like, let me get their names back up here again so y'all can hear them. Matthew Rodriguez, 18 years old, and 21-year-old Amari Green. You mean to tell me that they wouldn't have killed this baby or tried to kill the dad if there was more gun control? Is that what the fuck y'all trying to tell me? Shout out Ashley Highbrow in the building. What up, what up? I'm sorry. And today I see y'all in the chat. I'm sorry. I see y'all in there. I'm sorry. What up, what up, what up? I'm just simply asking a question. If there were more gun control, would Amari Green or Matthew Rodriguez, do you mean to tell me if there were more gun control, they wouldn't have done this? Hello. Thank you, Glitter. I'm just curious. What thugs, what non-law abiding citizens, what criminals, what drug kingpins, mastermind gangbangers do y'all know that give a shit about what the laws say or what the consequences are? Last time I checked, the recidivism rate is extremely high, which means motherfuckers that don't care about the law are going to continue to do what? Break the law, break the law. They're going to continue to break the law, breaking the law, breaking the law. They're going to continue to break in the law. So that would totally invalidate what these people are saying. I'm not going to call them idiots if they care truly about our youth. I'm all for that. But I just think that what they're saying, it's dumb, it's useless, it ain't helping. And in my opinion, it seems like everybody does typically a little bit better. There's a little bit less crime if you knew that everybody was strapped and everybody was armed. If everybody just took up arms and everybody walked around with guns, I would think that there would be a little bit less crime, in my opinion. Because if you knew that I was strapped up like I was about to go to World War I and got all kind of grenades and bullets and magazines and like I'm just ready to go to war, I just don't think that people gonna go after me as quickly as they would for somebody who is unarmed. If you notice, a lot of these crimes, unless people are shooting at each other, it's usually somebody shooting at a person who ain't got no gun. Right or wrong? Did y'all see that? And I could be wrong. I'm calling this out early. I'm calling this out early before I get the facts, so don't get mad. Did y'all hear about the rapper from Migos, Offset? Did y'all hear about that? Since everybody love a little celebrity news, maybe some people will hit that thumbs up if I talk about a little celebrity news rather than politics. Notice he didn't have a gun, from what I understand, and someone who did tried to shoot and kill him. Want you guys to also notice the situation with Gucci Mane, the rapper, and the person who is contractually obligated to live up to his contract. What's boy name? Pooh Shiesty and his little buddies got together allegedly and pulled guns allegedly and robbed a man allegedly and forced the man to sign a contract to get him out of the deal that he was in, allegedly, which means that they had guns and they did not. The victims did not. I just would think that if everybody had guns, that type of shit wouldn't happen. I'm not saying go out and just be strapped up and walking around. I'm just saying that's what statistics say. It's just less likely. Now, let's move past that because all of that outside of my opinions was factual. Green told police that he was aiming for another person in the crowd, according to the court complaint. So he was not aiming for the baby. I mean, of course, dude, we know that wasn't your intended target. Their target allegedly was the dad. Police said that the moped sped and crashed into a car 2 blocks away, which we have the video of that, hurling both men off the vehicle. And why that didn't just go ahead and just take them off the earth is beyond me. It would have been nice. They didn't have no helmets on. It would have been nice if that would have been the end of those 2 dudes who are producing nothing positive for society. That would have been great if that would have just been the end of them right then and there. That would have been poetic justice. Authorities haven't yet released court papers that detail Rodriguez's alleged role, but they haven't indicated they were looking for anyone other than the gunman alleged to have been Green, and the moped driver. Green was being held without bail after his arraignment. A voice message seeking comment was left with his attorney. Police did not immediately have information on how the men are connected or where Rodriguez lives. No working telephone number for him could be immediately found. Police charges against him are pending. New York's Mayor Zoran Mundumi, a police commissioner, Jessica Tisch, expressed heartbreak and outrage over Carey's death. So I'm going to skip all of that. Y'all can read it for yourself. But again, if I'm saying something that you disagree with, please type it in the chat and let me know what you guys think, okay? But I would like to hear at least a valid thing, not just I hurt your feelings, because that don't work with me.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
If you guys want to do me a favor, leave a comment in the comment section. Click the thumbs up on this live stream in this video that you're watching right now. That'll help us out quite a bit. And let's take a look and see what we got.
Tonight in Brooklyn, we're hearing from a heartbroken grandmother for the first time after her 7-month-old granddaughter was shot and killed in her stroller. The shooting has left neighbors shaken in Williamsburg. Police still searching for a second suspect. News 4's Charles Watson reporting live in Williamsburg with more on what we heard today. Charles.
Let me take a pause real quick because I just saw this because these other things were at the top. So we have a couple people who donated. I wanted to say thank you over to the people in Cash App, Reach 3002, Tina Houston. Thank you for taking on the challenge. Brandy, who was in the chat, Brandy Fulgham took on the challenge and issued a donation challenge right there in the chat. Thank you. And Mel Hugh for you showing some big time love who exceeded that challenge, said, you know, I love you, what you do, you are the GOAT. So if you're listening to the sound of my voice, Mel Hugh for you, thank you very much. I appreciate that, showing some love. And also big shout out to Rita for gifting out 20 channel memberships. So if y'all have a channel membership today, that's probably where it came from, okay? All right, let's keep going. Here we go.
Yeah, David, we spoke to the child's grandmother a short time ago who says they are hurting, but she also adds that they are a family of faith and will lean on that faith to get them through this tragedy.
We forgive them and just repent to God. God is the ultimate judge. He's the one that judges the world.
Linda Oyen-Cohen-Yan offering forgiveness to the individuals who police say played a role in the Williamsburg shooting that killed her 7-month-old granddaughter, identified by police as Keori Patterson Moore. The random act of violence rocking the family to its core.
I will tell you that she was a loving baby. She was an intelligent baby. She was good. No one wants to lose a child. You understand? And it's horrible. It's devastating. It's sad. It's sorrowful.
People who call this area of Williamsburg home reeling today as they light candles to honor the life of Keori Patterson Moore. The 7-month-old baby girl was shot in her stroller and killed yesterday afternoon. Police are looking into whether this was gang-related violence.
All the people be on this corner right here, and that little girl took that bullet. That's crazy.
Juan Jimenez emotional as he recalls seeing the baby girl carried out of the deli she and her family ducked into for cover when bullets started flying. Moments earlier, security video shows her parents overcome with emotion when they realized Keori was hit in the head. As a grandparent, Jimenez says he can't help but feel their pain.
When we see the baby, I cry. I call my wife, every people cry. Now, me no feel good.
Police say they will charge 21-year-old Amari Green with Kaori's murder. Green identified by investigators here on the back of a moped with a gun in his hand, firing at Humboldt and Moore Streets. Police taking him into custody after he was injured in a crash several blocks away from the shooting. The second suspect remains on the run. Investigators now trying to determine whether the 7-month-old's father was the target of the shooting and looking into whether he is associated with area gang members.
He is not in our criminal group database as an MOE gang member, but based on the geography and where he was at that time, we're looking into that aspect.
Yeah, back out here live, a look at the makeshift memorial honoring Kaori's life. You can see some folks setting down candles and flowers to honor that 7-month-old baby. Now, Brooklyn's Crisis Action Center is now offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of the second suspect. Advocates are now calling on Mayor Mamdani to set up a city fund that offers incentives to the public in cases just like this one. We're live in Williamsburg. Charles Swanson, News 4 New York.
A manhunt is underway following the tragic shooting death of a 7-month-old girl in Brooklyn. One suspect is in custody, but police are still looking for the guy in the picture there on the right. Eyewitness News reporter Jaysha Patel is live in East Williamsburg with more this morning. Jaysha.
Tanya, Pedro, good morning. Definitely just hard to imagine what this family is going through right now. We know the victim is 7-month-old Kaori Patterson Moore, and we know that she was actually sitting in a double stroller next to her 2-year-old brother yesterday when this shooting happened. The family ran into a deli nearby after the shooting, and they realized several minutes later that Kaori had actually been shot in the head. Police say that 2 suspects are involved in this shooting. They have 1 suspect in custody, but they're still looking for the other suspect. They were on a moped yesterday. This is the picture of the suspect they're still looking for. He was wearing light gray pants, a white t-shirt with a black surgical mask over his lower face. And investigators say he was last seen going towards the Marcy houses more than a mile away from here. Police say that this all started around 1:20 yesterday afternoon when the 2 suspects pulled up on a moped and approached the intersection of Moore and Humboldt Street. The suspect sitting in the rear of the moped took out a gun and started shooting multiple times, hitting 7-month-old Kaori. And again, the family went into a deli where they realized minutes later that she'd been shot in the head. She was sitting next to her 2-year-old brother in a double stroller. He was grazed in the back but is okay, but Kaori died at the hospital. The suspects try to get away on that moped northbound on Humboldt Street, and surveillance video actually shows them going the wrong way down a one-way street, and you can see that they actually collided with a car at Manhattan Avenue and Siegel Street, and both suspects were thrown from that moped. The alleged gunman and rear passenger landed so hard his shoes even flew off. He was rushed to the hospital where he was later taken into custody for an unrelated incident, a domestic violence-related robbery. But again, police are still trying to track down the other suspect who was driving that moped, and the mayor yesterday spoke about that.
So just to clarify, they have arrested both of them from what I understand. Yeah, so yes, the one that was limping had to go to the hospital because clearly he looked injured pretty bad. That adrenaline is running so high, like if that adrenaline weren't so high, he would have been probably in so much pain, he wouldn't have been able to get up and try to take off running. I mean, it's just your body is in overdrive, and, you know, he didn't feel it as much as he probably will like the next day or even the day after. Like, I've been in a motorcycle accident, so I know.
The unimaginable grief Kaori's family must be feeling right now.
There are no words that can mend the heartbreak this family is feeling now. No declaration strong enough to lift the grief they are now forced to carry. No embrace wide enough to heal the hole that has been left in their lives.
And investigators, they have that moped and the shell casings. This investigation is still ongoing, but they said yesterday that they believe that this is a gang-motivated shooting. Live in East Williamsburg, Jaysha Patel, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Hopefully someone knows who that person is and contacts police as soon as possible. Jaysha, thank you.
And now to the murder of that 7-month-old baby in Brooklyn tonight. We're hearing for the first time from the child's mother. She was pushing a double stroller on Wednesday when shots rang out in East Williamsburg.
Right there. That's how quick that happened. I'm going to rewind that just a little bit so y'all can see it. Look how quick this happened. If y'all need me to make it bigger on the screen, let me know. What's up, B2YN? Do I need to make this bigger on the screen so y'all can see it? Watch again. Here we go.
A double stroller on Wednesday when shots rang out in East Williamsburg.
Boom. That quick.
Tonight we're hearing for the first time from the child's mother. She was pushing a double stroller on Wednesday when shots rang out in East Williamsburg. The baby was killed, and her 2-year-old brother, also in the stroller, was grazed by the same bullet.
Right there.
21-year-old Amuri Green.
That was the one right there. So if we didn't show it before, that's how quick it happens. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger on the screen for you guys. Okay. Check it out. That second angle is the one I want y'all to see.
In East Williamsburg, the baby was killed, and her 2-year-old brother,
here's the second angle,
also in the stroller, was grazed.
There they are right there.
By the same bullet. 21-year-old Amuri Green, now charged with murder. New York cops say he was the shooter, riding on a moped in this gun insanity. Police tonight still looking for the driver of that moped. The two were injured when they crashed the moped shortly after the shooting. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles talking to the victim's mother today. She's live in East Williamsburg. Darla.
Bill, this mother is 20 years old. She's just 20 years old. She's virtually a baby herself. She was starting her life, her 2 children, her fiance. She aspires to become a pediatric nurse, and then this entire tragedy happened here behind me. She is terrified. She's traumatized, afraid to go back outside, and overwhelmed by what is happening and what has happened over the last few days.
Kaori was a sweet baby. She was always there. Anytime I needed her, she was always there.
At only 7 months old, the mother of Kaori Patterson Moore says she's always felt her daughter had purpose.
I didn't get to go to my aunt's funeral, and then I gained somebody that was there, that I comforted in and helped me through a lot.
The 20-year-old mother of this sweet 7-month-old baby girl asking not to be identified after her infant daughter was struck by a bullet in her carriage in East Williamsburg Wednesday afternoon.
She didn't deserve to die. She didn't deserve any of this, and I just wish that she was here, because I can't smell her, I can't kiss her, I can't hold her anymore, and she's just gone.
Surveillance video shows the young family leisurely walking on the sidewalk when a moped just seems to pop up out of nowhere. The group quickly ducks as shots are fired. The accused gunman, Amuri Green, arrested trying to flee the scene. Police are still searching for the driver of the moped.
I'm just upset.
And I just noticed, do y'all notice how the dude is holding the gun? Sideways. Y'all see that, right? Sideways in a group of people driving extremely fast and thought that whatever target he was going to hit, he was going to be accurate, and holding the gun sideways. Ridiculous.
Police are still searching for the driver of the moped.
I'm just upset about everything everybody's posting online, saying that my fiance is a part of the reason why my daughter is gone. That's not the reason why she's gone.
This after the NYPD says her fiance may have been the intended target. But the family strongly pushing back on this, saying the only person responsible for Kaori's death is the one who pulled the trigger.
Okay, fine. So she's saying that he's apparently not a gang member, and she's saying he wasn't the intended target. So here's what you'd have to ask in that case. Who was the intended target? Who was the intended target, and why is it that they decided to shoot a gun into that particular crowd because that seemed like they had intent. That seemed damn near pre-planned. So who was the intended target? It wasn't the baby. We know that. The baby ain't had a chance to join no gang yet. Which video? You want to see the shooting portion? Right here. Okay. We can go back just a little bit. Right here. Here we go. Or was the mom the intended target? It makes you wonder. So if you know for sure that the dad wasn't the intended target, was it the mom? Was the father there? They're saying yes, he was. Let me see if I can get y'all a screenshot here of him. I gotta find it. Let me see. Wait a minute. That's suspects, victim. Let me see if I can find it. Because I thought they said he was either... Yeah, okay, right there. It's... I just saw it. Was it this one? No. That one. Okay, y'all give me a second. This is going to take a little bit to try to make this bigger on the screen. Y'all hold on a second. Let me see if I can do this. We're doing this live, so y'all bear with me. Do y'all see him right there? With his mouth open? I think that's the dad, from what I understand. Can everybody see that? So he was there. Nobody's denying that he was there. I haven't used my trusty whiteboard in a long time. Let me see if this thing still works. Right here. That's this man. Allegedly, they're saying that he was the target. So clearly he was there. At that moment, right there, was when they found out that the baby had been shot. They didn't find out, I think, for a small amount of time. They didn't figure it out until like, oh my God, my baby done got shot.
Baby was killed, and her 2-year-old brother,
here's how quick it happened,
also in the stroller, was grazed by the same bullet.
Y'all saw that? That's how quick it happened. So I don't know. Like I said, some of that could be wrong. I don't know.
Reason why she's gone.
This after the NYPD says her fiance may have been the intended target. But the family strongly pushing back on this, saying the only person responsible for Kaori's death is the one who pulled the trigger.
And I just wish I could have did more as a mom to protect them both. Because walking in the street and then that just happened and I didn't realize until I got into the store, it just killed me. And I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. I miss you so much.
Absolutely heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. Tomorrow at noon here at the intersection of Humboldt and Moore Street, where this tragedy happened, there's going to be a massive prayer vigil. New York State Attorney General Letitia James will be here, as well as a number of faith leaders, all to honor the life of 7-month-old Kaori Patterson Moore. In terms of the investigation, police are still trying to track down the person who was driving the moped. They say they know who the suspect is.
And breaking tonight, a second person of interest in custody after a stray bullet shooting that killed a 7-month-old girl. Good evening. I'm Alan Devlin in for Dick Brennan tonight. First, that breaking news, a second person in custody right now in the shooting death of a 7-month-old girl from Brooklyn. Police confirmed to CBS News New York that person of interest was taken into custody in Pennsylvania. Now, this comes as community members are gathering at this hour at the site where this tragedy unfolded. Andrew Ramos is in East Williamsburg with more.
And a significant turnout here in East Williamsburg, where the community is gathering to mourn the loss of 7-month-old Kaori Patterson Moore. And amid the somber mood here, a bit of relief for family members who just a short time ago learned that a second suspect involved in the shooting is now in police custody. The victim's mother and grandmother expected to be at this vigil tonight, where balloons will be released and several dozen candles lit in what has become a growing memorial for Kaori. Now, it's taking place at the same corner where the 7-month-old baby girl was struck by a stray bullet while in her stroller on Wednesday. The tragedy, as you would expect, sent shockwaves across the city, where the infant, who was just starting to walk, lost her life. A day later, NYPD tracked down the suspected gunman, identified as 21-year-old Amori Green, who they say pulled the trigger while on a scooter that was driven by a second man. Now, that man was taken into custody in Pennsylvania early Friday evening by NYPD detectives assigned to the U.S. Marshals Regional Fugitive Task Force. The murder has left many in the community and Kaori's family on edge. Now, Amori Green faces a slew of charges, including 3 counts of murder. Reporting in East Williamsburg tonight, Andrew Ramos, CBS News, New York.
Now, as we learn more about the people in custody, we'll bring you the latest on the investigation.
And I need you to understand it hurts us every day that I see my children. All those kids on that video are mine. Any kid in this area is mine. And I refuse to go to sleep and watch any child in this area continue to suffer because someone wants to be stupid. This cannot happen anymore. And we have to change this. Someone got to change this. And I can't be the only voice. Y'all have to help me. As much as I love the youth, I understand that this happened. And it's a tragedy. I'm not mad at the youth. I will continue to try to build with the youth because the parents have failed. We have failed. Somewhere through the generations, we failed a lot of these young kids. They don't know. They don't know. They don't have the morals. They don't have the principles. Some of them don't have that grandmother that was outside telling them, you can't do this. We here, and we're not allowing this. So when y'all make it that the community wasn't together, this whole community, God bless y'all, because y'all stuck together for me, for us. And I appreciate every last one of y'all for being here. Thank you.
We're going to ask all the clergy to pray. Let's pray for the family real quick. Bishop, can you lead us in prayer?
What's the plan? What is the plan?
1 second, we're going to pray now.
What's the plan?
After prayer.
You already prayed. What's the plan?
Father, we ask you that you will send your tranquility to this family. You declared in your word you have a peace that surpasseth all understanding. So God, endow them with this peace and comfort. And then God, let them know that subsequent to this, that the community will come together to eradicate evil. For this, God, is an act of evil, and men's hearts need to be changed. So I pray, God, that love will begin to flow. Understanding will begin to come, and we as a people will roll up our sleeves to come up with positive solutions for what's happening in our city and in our boroughs. In Jesus' name, amen.
Here's the thing, because I think a lot of people watch me because they know I'm going to keep it real. That's just the God honest truth. What do y'all want to bet? Especially knowing that I come from the black community. You know, I've been black my entire life. You know, I've been around the hood for a long time, around a lot of situations. And when you talk about gang stuff, I get it. I understand it. What do y'all want to bet that there's a high probability that this woman dating this, this man who has this element of danger about himself, or if she in a relationship with him, husband, whatever, I'm assuming just baby dad to this little girl, right? What is the likelihood that he probably is a thug, is a gang member, is active, did have somebody out to get him, or somebody who, like they make all these cute little songs about stealing drugs from the plug, ran off on the plug and all that type of stuff, maybe owed some money for some drugs. It could just be that simple. Or maybe somebody who disrespected a gang member. I don't know. I don't really know. But I just think there's a high probability that when you date thugs, you date death, and that's been an AFC hashtag for a long time. If I'm wrong about that, if you can prove I'm wrong about it, you say he's definitely affiliated? I don't know. It just seems to me like there is something more to this. That was very, very personal. They wanted that man gone. They treated that man like an op, and they didn't care who was around. That, to me, signifies gang foolishness at its finest. So it'd be very, very hard for her to deny that. And denying that again, when you're talking about trying to fix a problem in troubleshooting, because I come from that world of troubleshooting and tech support and all of that, first thing you got to do is identify the problem. You have to acknowledge there's a problem. Then you have to identify what that problem is. And if you refuse to acknowledge that you are dating a thug or dealing with one, then you can't truly fix the problem. Because it's like you want to have your cake and eat it too, and that it just ain't the way that the world works. Okay? So again, I think that this is very tragic. It's very sad. And again, I think our world was robbed at potentially one of our best and brightest. I would have loved to have found out how awesome this baby girl could have been. So let me get her face back up on the screen. Oh, and there's a GoFundMe, Lord. We didn't even talk about that. Oh, my God. They put up a GoFundMe, and it is almost, $50,000, I believe. If you want to donate, great. I just believe in life insurance. I'm not against GoFundMe. I'm just pro-life insurance, okay? So there is a GoFundMe if y'all want to look it up. Like I say, I just have my thoughts about it. Let me get my favorite picture of her up here, which is... honestly, probably this one. Sweet little face, young princess Kaori, R.I.P. Thank y'all so much for listening to her story. We'll do an update. We'll definitely do an update on this when we get more information out there, especially when we get more clear photos of the suspects' faces. I want the world to see their faces and the type of people that need to go to hell really, really quickly. Okay? Thank you. Let's get to our next story, and I'll answer your questions in the chat. Let me see. Thank you, Glitter, for rejoining on your channel membership. Much love. I appreciate that. And again, I needed to shout out those who were able to donate in Cash App just now. Mel Hugh for you, Brandy for issuing the challenge, Tina and Reege. And also we had one come in from, where is it at? From Ash and Emmy over there in Venmo. So thank you very much. Let me see here. Also want to say thank you. Big shout out to Rita M, who is in the chat, who has been showing just the most amazing love possible. So Rita, if you're listening, thank you very much. And also thank you to those who are still over there on Patreon and those who want to join us. I would love to have you guys join us on Patreon. You can support us there one time a month. And we love to get your support there as well. Story number 2 out of 9, because we got a lot to talk about. It always seems like it gets so warm in here whenever I get to doing these stories. That might be just me getting upset. Bolo TV, what up? Blessings DJ in the chat. What up, Bolo? Good to see you in the building. What up, what up, what up? If y'all would, do me a favor. If y'all would, please hit that thumbs up and share this. Like I said, I know we don't have as many people watching as we normally do, but hopefully that'll change in time. But we need everybody's help to get back on track. Y'all do me a favor and please hit that thumbs up. We want to have one thumb up for everybody watching. So if we got 100 people watching, we want to have at least 100 thumbs up. So let me see where we're at. Tanea, yeah, we got 9 stories that we're going to be talking about here. So I appreciate you. Shout out to Tanea. What's up, Don? Don B, I see you in the building. What's up, Michelle? They call me B. Glitter, thank you. Who was that? Mandy, thank you, Mandy. Thank you, Genevieve. Deanna, what's up? Let's see where we're at. Tanea, what's up, Don? Let me turn this mic down. God, y'all never tell me when this mic is so loud. Okay, we got just over 100 thumbs up. Hey, if we get 200 thumbs up, I'm going to give away my other 5 channel memberships. I'm going to give them away. So I already said my blood pressure is up. It is getting warm in here for damn sure. All right, let's talk about this. So let's skip that. I've got 2 articles here, but I think I'm going to just go with the first one. I just thought people could have added more to their information, but oh, I know why. I am gonna have to read both articles. I know exactly why. Hold on, can I read this one? What? Let's see. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this other article up here. God dog, really? Oh, Lordy. Hold on, guys, because that actually was kind of key information. Let me see if I can get it. Just pause there just for a second. God dang it. Her name, former girlfriend. Come on, man, really? Okay, this is going to suck. Y'all, give me a second. I need to at least get her name here. I need Busky's girlfriend's name. Pause right there. It's not going to do it. I'm sorry. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty here. And I'm not signing up $20 a month just to read a goddamn article. This is stupid. It's starting to piss me off. I need her name. There we go. Okay. This article might work. Sorry about that. I had to get this because it's important. There we go. Finally found a website that ain't going to charge me monthly. Ain't that something? Just to read the damn news. Jesus. All right. All right, that was embarrassing. Okay, here we go. Story number 2. We're gonna keep this thing rolling this time. I want you guys to take a look at me, back this picture up just for a second. This angel right here, there was also another baby connected in this story, but there was absolutely no excuse for us to intentionally do what happened to this baby. It's flat out ridiculous, but I'm gonna give you guys some details and go from there. I have no sympathy for the punishment that they're gonna inflict on the dad and dad's girlfriend.
Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, new website articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer.
So I'm having to use multiple websites, but the first we're going to go with people.com. So shout out to People. So a New York man has been sentenced to 27 years to life in prison for the starvation death. And I want y'all to catch this. The starvation death of his 5-year-old daughter. Her name is Charlotte Buskey. But here's the irony. I want to show you guys a picture of the death. Look at this. We are not going to ignore this. And no, I'm not fat shaming, except that this man is quite ridiculous looking. So I'm only going to fat shame baby killers. How about that? I want you guys to take a look at this screen. I want you to look. When they give you a 6X jumpsuit in prison and your belly still hangs further below than that, I think that just proves that you probably didn't have one too many cheeseburgers, one too many buffets, one too many enchiladas, one too many chicken fried steaks, one too many country meals, one too many good, too many sodas, too many going back for seconds and thirds, whatever you want to call it. I'm just saying, he deserves all the shame. So I want you guys to understand. This does not point the finger at all people who are overweight. This is literally hypocrisy at its finest when you have an individual who clearly understands the value of Little Debbie's. Thank you very much. The value of snacky cakes and sugar and carbohydrates. And you would literally, the thing that you can't stop your fat ass self from doing, starve your daughter to death. You starved a baby to death. Everybody understand? I want to make that very, very clear. This man starved this angel to death. That her name is Charlotte, was 5 years old. This fool who used to, I guess, they called him an MMA fighter. I don't know if they maybe meant an MMA fatter instead of MMA fighter. But nonetheless, Robert Buskey Jr., 35 years stupid, pleaded guilty in January to second-degree murder and criminal sale of a controlled substance to a child. Criminal sale of a controlled substance to a child. How does that even happen? I don't even know how you get that. But that's according to a press release from the district attorney's office. Buskey admitted that under circumstances evincing a depraved indifference to human life, he recklessly engaged in conduct that created a grave risk of serious injury or death to his daughter, Charlotte, who's right there, ultimately causing her death in 2024. Authorities were called to the Buskey's home on April the 14th of 2024. Inside, they discovered the girl's severely emaciated body, which means this was over time. Intentional. Did not give a shit. Wanted to see her pass away. Had an opportunity to fix it. Chose not to. And allowed her to die a horrible, horrible death. Her severely emaciated body locked in a bedroom in what they described as a house of horrors. Do you guys remember that lady's name? I forget the house of horrors. I forget her name. On my channel. What is that lady's name on my channel? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Kelly Marie Bryant. That's her name. I remember it. Do y'all remember the Kelly Marie Bryant story? That story, and as well as this other story with this white lady in this trailer park, I have those listed under a category called House of Horrors. I guess I'm going to have to list this one under there too. But usually these houses are very just squalid. Squalid is just not even a word that really tells you how nasty and filthy it is. But I'm going to probably have to list this under that. So they're saying it's a house of horrors. They also found a makeshift cage in a dining room where Busky kept his 3-year-old son in a cage like a dog. This guy. They also found a makeshift cage that he kept his own child in. Prosecutors said that Charlotte had been neglected and malnourished for months. She and her brother had been completely isolated from the outside world, no longer seeing family members, attending medical appointments, and not even going to school. So, again, you would have to ask, where's the mother in this situation? Where the family members? We don't know. How does somebody like this get total and complete access to these kids without being able to see? Nobody else is beyond me. There's no checks and balances. They added that Busky kept the children confined so that he could do drugs and play video games and not be bothered by the kids. According to prosecutors, evidence shows that Busky locked Charlotte in her bedroom where she only had a small pack and play to lay in. She was left without food, water, or contact with anyone and ultimately died of severe dehydration and malnutrition despite food being available elsewhere in the house. She's 5. And she couldn't do nothing about it. She couldn't fight back. Along with his daughter's murder, Busky was also convicted of giving drugs to his children. Both tested positive for cocaine. So it wasn't that he just wanted to be high. He tried to get his kids high too. Isn't that just a sad piece of shit? And this fool had the nerve to be crying in court. Oh, let me play that. I cannot wait to show y'all that video. Along with his daughter's murder, he was convicted of giving drugs to his children, and they tested positive for cocaine. At his sentencing on April the 3rd, Busky apologized for his actions and took responsibility. I deserve it, he said in court, per the news outlet. I understand why I'm being prosecuted here. I understand the reasons why everyone looks at me as a monster. Busky's defense attorney, Joseph Litz, highlighted his client's struggles with drug addiction and mental health and argued that others could have intervened to prevent Charlotte's death. So I want y'all to remember this. This is why I don't have sympathy for people when they talk about mental illness when you have custody of children. If you got mental illness, you shouldn't be a parent. You shouldn't have custody of kids. I've actually had people get mad at me for saying that before. I don't even understand why people would get mad at that. Y'all do me a favor and hit that thumbs up if y'all are watching. If y'all would, please. Thank you. I appreciate that. What's up, YMBF jury? What's up? If you present a danger to children, then you should not be a parent. If you have mental illness and it presents a danger to children, you should not be a parent, let alone have sole custody. I don't think it's anything controversial with me saying that. Judge Matthew S. Sipanewski or something disagreed. This has everything and only to do with what could be an absolute narcissist, self-absorbed individual who is so selfish and has no empathy for what was a locked up 5-year-old starving to death behind that door, he said. That's what it's about. As part of his plea agreement, Busky was given the maximum sentence allowed by law, gave up his right to appeal, and was placed under an order of protection that forbids any contact with his now 5-year-old son, according to the DA's office. Busky previously competed as an amateur mixed martial arts fighter in a local Cage Wars event. If there is a video of him getting his ass whooped, I would love to see that. Maybe we can show it. Maybe somebody will be willing to release the copyrights for me to show it on my channel. If there's a video of him getting his head split open, that would be great. So if you got that footage, if you can find it, send it to me. If only if he loses. If he won, I don't want to see it. Don't send it to me. If you suspect child abuse, call the National Child Abuse Hotline 800-4CHILD, 800-422-4453, childhelp.org. All calls are free and confidential. Hotline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in more than 170 languages. Let's get to the whore that was around. Let's get to her. Right here. This girl. Her name is Brandy Terhune, Terhune. I almost said T-E-Hune. This is according to news10.com, since they were the only ones able to allow me to read this article for free. The second person charged in connection to the starving death of 5-year-old Charlotte Buskey has pleaded guilty to all charges, according to the Schenectady County District Attorney's Office, and she faces 5 years of probation. 5 years of probation, and that's it. Terhune was arrested in, I'm going to just say Brandy. Brandy was arrested in June of 2024. She was indicted on 2 counts of endangering the welfare of a child and 1 count of tampering with physical evidence. According to county officials, she pleaded guilty to each charge. The child, Charlotte Buskey, was found unresponsive in April of 2024 at a home on Elmer Avenue in Schenectady. She was pronounced dead at the scene. So she gets off on essentially 5 years of probation. This is connected to a dead child. I don't understand how they were able to come to that conclusion. Because if she saw something, didn't say anything, to me, she's just as guilty. All right, let's go.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
For those watching my channel right now, if y'all would do me a favor and hit that thumbs up, smash that thumbs up and share this. It'll help us out quite a bit, okay? So leave a comment as well. Let me know what you think. If y'all find the video of him, his name is Robert Buskey Jr., 35 years old currently, from what I understand. If you find the video of him getting beat up in MMA, I'd love to see it.
A Schenectady man was sentenced today to 27 years to life in prison for causing the death of his 5-year-old daughter. It was a case of severe neglect and abuse that shocked investigators and prosecutors. News 10's Bianca Caputo joins us in studio with the difficult details of this case. Bianca?
Lydia, Robert Buskey pleaded guilty in January to second-degree murder, and criminal sale of a controlled substance to a child as part of a plea deal. I want to warn you, what you're about to hear from prosecutors describing how little Charlotte died is graphic and disturbing.
It's the definition of depraved, wicked, evil, inhuman state of mind.
What law enforcement walked into on April 14th, 2024, Schenectady County Chief Homicide Prosecutor Christina Tremonte Pelham says was hard to describe.
These trained and experienced police officers were stunned by what they saw.
Officers found a makeshift cage in the dining room where Robert Buskey kept his 3-year-old son and the bedroom where he locked his 5-year-old daughter Charlotte inside after she tried to escape.
She didn't even have a bed, but rather a pack and play that was so small she was forced to lie in fetal position. And that was the place where she spent her final days alone.
Food was stocked inside the home, and Buskey ate Burger King the night he listened to his daughter's final, desperate cries for help.
He didn't just leave her and forget about her. He tortured her. And he had to hear her. And I know that because the neighbors heard her yelling, "Daddy, no."
Charlotte and her brother were completely cut off from the outside world and each other.
One of the final things their father took away from them was the comfort of each other.
Buskey also gave his children narcotics and cocaine. At Charlotte's autopsy, her small body was found devoid of any food at all. She was 30 pounds, and she had weighed 40 pounds 2.5 years earlier.
I immediately saw her eyes. They were open, but she was so dehydrated that her eyes were actually sunken into her skull. and her body was completely emaciated.
Buskey was the one who called 911 and told the operators he killed his daughter.
I knew I was going to jail, and I deserve it.
Buskey's lawyer argued his history of mental health issues and addiction contributed to the murder, which Judge Matthew Sinepsky ultimately denied when he gave Buskey the maximum sentence. The judge noted that as Buskey was going to be locked up for the rest of his life, it would be in conditions better than what Charlotte suffered. Buskey's now 5-year-old son has been issued a full order of protection. Reporting live in studio, I'm Bianca Caputo, News 10 ABC.
She's got this stepfather, big-time scumbag. But then he gets convicted of trying to meet a 15-year-old for sex. He was convicted of attempting against a minor. That's a felony. And the prosecutors went to her. They said, "Judge, this is a dangerous individual."
There's no excuse for what I did. There's no, this is the reason why, it's not, I can't take back what happened. I made mistakes. I let drugs and my mental health go, and that's my problem. That's why since day one, I took responsibility. I called, I knew what was gonna happen, I knew I was going to jail, and I deserve it. I understand why I am being prosecuted here. I understand the reasons that everyone looks at me as a monster. But without everything happening to me, I would not let that happen to Charlotte. I made the mistake, so I take responsibility for what happened to Charlotte and Jackson. And I just want to apologize to everyone that was involved and that it affects. But no matter what I do, that don't bring Charlotte back. So I'm here to take responsibility for my actions today, Judge.
This noon, a Schenectady man has now admitted to killing his 5-year-old daughter. This morning, Robert Buskey pled guilty to murder and criminal sale of a controlled substance to a child. The Schenectady County District Attorney tells us Buskey will receive the maximum sentence of 25 years to life on the murder charge and an additional 2 years on the other charge when he's sentenced in March. The DA described Buskey's home at his time of arrest in April back in 2024 as a, quote, house of horrors. Buskey had been neglecting his young daughter, Charlotte, for months, according to the district attorney. Buskey's 3-year-old son was also being kept in a makeshift cage so Buskey could play video games, officials tell us. Buskey also gave both of his children cocaine. His ex-girlfriend, Brandy Taroon, pled guilty in last June of tampering with physical evidence and child endangerment. An order of protection will also be issued barring Buskey from having any contact with his now 5-year-old son.
Here's what I don't understand, and to kind of close this out. She's there seeing this, and you can't tell me that she wasn't participating, like she's just an innocent bystander. That is not how that works when you see this level of abuse and idiocracy going on. Like to give her 5 years of probation, that's bull crap. Like, people don't learn when you are not stern. That rhymes. They don't learn when you're not stern. Okay? And to him, it was more important to play video games. And so why even have the kids? Where's the mother? Like, why do you even have custody? Oh, that's why. You know why? Because there's this thing called Babies for Benefits. That's something that the AFC podcast came up with. That's something that I came up with. Hashtag Babies for Benefits. This man didn't love these kids, did not want them. He only wanted the benefits, whether it be attention, Section 8, food stamps, car vouchers. But as big as he is, I can assume that he probably did it just for the food stamps alone. Probably got a couple $1,000s a month for having full and sole custody of these 2 kids. And he said, you know what? I'm going to go out and I got money for Burger King now. Big fat sorry son of a. Oof. Don't even say it, Jay. It boils my blood to just know that these kids did not have an advocate anywhere, and his son only survived surely by luck. To have a girlfriend and a man this damn stupid, to me, like I said, she instead of 5 years probation, she should have got 5 years in prison. He absolutely deserves a life sentence. To the boy, y'all pray for him to make a full recovery. To this angel, young princess, R.I.P. Thank y'all for listening to the story. If there's something more to report, we will. Other than that, you know, like I said, if something bad happens to him, I'm not saying something bad should happen to him in prison. But if it does, guess what? We're not going to feel bad about it. All right? We're not going to shed a tear. So this angel deserves justice. And this just doesn't really feel like justice was done. Okay? Thank you.